Hello everybody, and welcome back to another World of Tanks video. This time in a replay by myself, and I am in my Tiger II, which is very rapidly also becoming my favorite tier 8 heavy tank, or just favorite tier 8 tank in general. It's just very dependable, but I've talked about this before in other replays, so I'm not going to now. What I am going to talk about for just a moment here is that you can probably hear a little bit of a buzz in the background. That is the air conditioning, because it's still blisteringly hot here in the Netherlands, at least at the time of recording. So unless I unless I want to melt, I should really keep this going. I did try turning it off for a bit, but unfortunately even with the aircon running at full blast, we don't really drop below 27 degrees Celsius, which is still a bit hot for myself. Anyway, let's stop talking about the weather here in the Netherlands and let's continue on to this match. According to XVM, this is more or less an equal opportunity match, so a 50-50 shot. They even seem to think that the enemy team is at an advantage. I don't really agree with XVM in this regard, because there's really only the M46 Patton, which is a green or higher player, so to say, and on our team there are 5. So it's a bit skewed, but oh well, XVM isn't perfect. I've talked about this many times. Anyway, what I'm doing here is the position I'm taking is really only viable if there's no artillery, but luckily there is no artillery, so I can go here. And the beauty about this position is, as long as you've got a bit of an accurate gun, you can just shoot across the entire battlefield, and you can dictate when you want to get shot at. Yeah, you can dictate when you get shot at. It's that simple. If you drive back, nobody from the side has shots on you and nobody from the front has shots at you, assuming they don't just move over the ridgeline, like this Patton is doing. Luckily I do get a chance to shoot at him, and luckily for me, he can't really show too much of his tank without dying. So I can put the shot in for free, so to say. This Patton just bounces harmlessly off me, so I can go there. Now I decided to take a shot at this building. This is my idea was to start shooting it down so that T-30 wouldn't have anything to hide behind. As it turns out, it really wasn't necessary, and I don't think that particular building is actually destructible. It's a bit weird in this map, but yeah, I believe that building will actually stay put even if you shoot it a billion times. There's a lightweight there. Anyway, this part of the match I still need to be a bit careful. This map in general is a bit campy, and even more so in my current situation. There are no heavy tanks on the, or there is a T10 on the enemy team, but I haven't seen him yet, so I'm going to assume for the moment that he's at say E0, making its way onto the hill, and I need to retain my health for when the hill might need my help. In the meantime, this Patton tries to take another shot at me, but he really needs to expose a large part of his tank for me to, or for him to take a shot at my lower plate, which is the only part he's going to penetrate with his normal ammunition. But yeah, luckily for me, he gets a bit skittish each time he makes his way up, so he doesn't quite hit the lower plate. This is a bit of a bad shot. I don't realize there's actually a building in the way. But yeah, I get a rematch, so to say. See the T-37, take a moment to aim, and shoot, and hit. It's a bit of a lucky shot, but to be fair, the Tiger II is a very accurate tank. And this Patton is trying to look for another shot on me, but luckily for me he doesn't get a chance. And I see the T-30 is aiming away, and this is a very important tank for the enemy team, so I take my shot. It's 349 damage to him for 334 to me by this Patton. Unfortunately for me, I aren't quite capable of I'm not quite capable of shooting back at this Patton. Oh, well, I shoot back at this Patton, but I don't actually do damage, which is unfortunate. Luckily, he seems to be a bit absent-minded of the heavy tank that is in front of him, so I get to shoot him again. From a rather cheeky position, I must add, but yeah, well, if you get away with it, you get away with it, I guess. Now I'm looking on the minimap and I'm seeing that they're not really doing well on the hill. So I make the decision here to like take some damage in order to deal some damage. If the hill falls, I'm in serious trouble and the base is open. So I really need to put some damage on these enemies here, even if that means I take a little bit of damage in return. Now so far so good, I haven't caught any damage yet, but this will change very shortly. There we go, first shot, and I'm able to take out the KV-5. There's only 2 more tanks left that are assaulting the hill. One of them is running, which is the T-37, and then there's the T-10 left. I am going to try and put in another shell. Sadly for me it doesn't quite fly where I want it to, and this Patton is able to put another shot into my tank. So now my health is a bit lower, but luckily the hill survived. And that was pretty much what I needed to do. I needed to make sure that that hill didn't fall, that my flank remained secure there. Because I need to expose a fair bit of my tank to this pattern in order to show it. Now there's one little T-37 left there, but he won't live long. So yeah. Flank secured. There's the T-30 here and there's an IS-3 here as well. And I continue my little miss duel with this pattern. We both must have missed at least 4 or 5 shots at each other. Here I'm expecting to spot a Walker Bulldog, but no such luck for me. And the pattern moves away from me, which gives me the all clear to move forwards. And I can start putting the hurt down on this T-30. Very nice, very big gun on that tank, but if you can deal some damage to it, why not? There's a Jagdpanther 2 still behind me. I check there to see what he's doing, and this lightweight decides to go for it. I do decide to go for a tracking shot, but well, I basically do a bad job of it. Now I didn't notice here, but I actually auto-aim here. I must have accidentally hit my right mouse button, so I was wondering why my turret was turning so slowly, but yeah, auto-aim. Claims another victim, I suppose. I might have been able to save the Jagdpanther 2 if I was able to put that shot in. Luckily I do kill him off and this game is pretty much in the pocket. It's very nice for that IS-3 to feed me another kill. So yeah, my total damage gets to 3,703. And if you can see this WZ-111 on the hill, he's really done an amazing job. I mean, that fellow over there, he pretty much fought off those heavies that made it up to the hill there, amongst which were a tier 9. So congrats to you in the WZ-111. He really did what he needed to do there. He did get a bit of support from me, but all in all, without him we would have lost this game also. But as it is, I decided to get into the cap circle. I really don't feel like hunting down a light tank in my my heavy. So I'm just going to sit in the cap and wait this out. At least this is my idea. If the light tank shows up, well, you probably need a load gold to pen me anyway, but aside of that, it should be okay. It's right about here that I realize he's not going to show up from that end, where I'm pointing my gun now, so say right about there. And I should probably turn my tank around. This turns out to be exactly the right idea. So I turn my tank around, get spotted, and immediately I start getting shot at. As you can see. Unfortunately he hits my track here, which lowers the cap amount. So I get behind this building and I start side scraping. And I take a few pot shots at buildings or some bushes here that he might be hiding behind. Not doing a very good job of it. And you can see that this building is actually destructible, because it's actually being destroyed by the Walker Bulldog. I bounce another shell. Take another blind shot. Later in the post-game stats we're going to see that it didn't actually hit anything. So, you know, there's that. And I'm actually running out of ammunition. I still have a fair bit of APCR and high explosive left, but this is my last AP shell. I fire it here in the hopes that maybe I hit this Bulldog blind, but the cap is complete, so let's take a look at the post-game stats, shall we? As we can see, this was an ace tanker for me. Didn't really get much other medals. This surprised me a little bit. I kinda expected to get either a high caliber or tank sniper or whatever for this match, but it was not to be, I suppose. But yeah, ace tanker is always nice. And what I also like about the replay here is that I did what I had to do for the team. I got into a dominant position in my heavy tank, was able to damage one of the more important tanks on that team, which would be, if I can find them here in the list, should be here. Where are you, where are you? The Patton, there we go. 3 shots in for close to 900 damage. This is very nice. These are actually low rolls, otherwise you don't get 887. Considering this gun has an alpha of, I believe, 320, so this should be 960 if I rolled average. Got a bit unlucky with the Patton, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I was able to kill 3 tanks and do damage to a whole lot of other tanks. But when we see here in the post, or in the more detailed list here, in the team lists, there we go. And we see that it's actually the Patton that got the high caliber. He also got a Confederate. Basically he got an enormous amount of damage on an enormous amount of tanks. So I suppose his stats did him proud, or he did his stats proud, I suppose. It still was a nice match for him, and he got full experience for this match because he got high caliber and Confederate. So it's been nice playing against him, I suppose. This I'm not going to try and pronounce that name. Don Bilbo here, Don Bilbo 75, the fella in the WZ111. He also played a very nice match, held the hill like a complete boss against some very big heavy tanks. So congrats to you. He also got fire for effect and bruiser. I only got fire for effect, so there's that. But I did do the most damage on my team, so I'm happy about it. And in the end, secured the kill, or it secured the game. In the detailed report, we can see I fired a fair few shots that didn't hit. Now, keep in mind this is also with the blind shots I took on the Walker Bulldog, and with a few very questionable shots I took at the what was it called, the Patton. But all in all, I'm quite happy with this. My armor did alright, especially against the Bulldog in the end, but to be honest, a fair few shots I just accepted that they were going to damage me. Was also a very nice amount of experience, 1232 for my double, which is very nice of course, but yeah, considering the amount of ammunition I fired, still having a bit of a profit here is actually, well, a bit surprising to me. I hadn't expected it, so yeah, 5700, I'm happy. All in all, a rather nice game where I did what I had to, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you for the next one.